Click, click, boom. Yeah, that's how we feeling right now. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boys Mike and Tony. We are here for the halftime show for the 49ers versus the Chargers. And man, Tony, man, I can't call it, man. Let's just start with what happened the most recently, man. We got the other guys jumping in here. We got Dre Greenlaw getting ejected after one personal foul. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, guys, am I crazy here? What just happened? When did guys get ejected after one personal foul? And that was a questionable one at that. Wayne, what are your thoughts? We haven't heard from you in a while, and then we'll go to Mike, and then we'll go to Tony.
It was just the helmet to helmet, man. It's targeting. It's what the refs feel like they saw. We don't agree with it. It's just a bang bang play. Dude was a runner. He doesn't get the same rules as if he wasn't a runner, and so it's unfortunate that Dre Greenlaw, which was leading, into the tackle, looked like he was leading with his shoulder. When Jimmy hit him, it just ricocheted and it was a helmet to helmet. So that's the reason why I believe he was ejected, because of that targeting rule or whatever. Now, I believe the league can, the New York people can go in and be like, they can overturn it.
I was gonna say, like, can't New York intervene? Like, is New York supposed to intervene before the ruling, or is it after the ruling?
It would have to be after the ruling, right? They would have to look at it and review it and determine if it was that, and it wasn't. Like, go ahead, Tom.
My question is this, right? You just made a point that it was targeting. Did they call it officially targeting as the penalty?
I don't think they call that in the NFL. I think that's a college thing, but when it's helmet to helmet, I think that's kind of what they result to.
So then the same play should have been called when McCaffrey was on the floor after the play, and Derwin James throws his shoulder right into his helmet.
And the same play should have been called when Derwin James hit Brandon Ayuk in the head, exactly, and the ball popped out.
If you're going to call it, you got to be consistent with the call. That's all I'm asking for. If you want to call that type of game, fine. I understand that.
100%.
You can't just call it for the Chargers. You have to call it for the Niners as well.
Look, the only thing consistent with officiating in the NFL, it says not consistent. It's not consistent at all. And I asked Tony and Mike, Wayne, let me ask you this question. If that happened to Jimmy, do you think they call it?
No, and it happens to Jimmy all the time. It even happened to Jimmy on the run he ran when he was short for the first down. Like, they're not gonna call it. I don't know. It's just unfortunate that we always have to play against referees and the teams. So it is what it is, man. I just hope that he's not ejected. That's the only thing I could hope for right now. It gave him the 15 yards. They kind of did us a solid by taking Herbert out of the game. Kind of make
kind of. Yeah.
No, they have to do that. If they say it's a direct shot to the head, leading with the head to helmet to helmet contact, he has to be removed from the game.
Yeah, so like it kind of went in our favor, but they still got the 15 yards, and we lost a player, whereas they didn't lose a player. You know what I mean? And Herbert was mad that he had to come out.
Can they overturn it and let him back in the game? Is that a thing that could happen?
New York can, yes.
I've never seen it. Have you ever seen it happen though?
I've never seen it happen, but this case, I mean, we watched
it but
over and over again. Like, come on. It wasn't targeting. So targeting is different. Targeting is when you're leading with your helmet and you're going into the helmet of a player. If that's the case, they need to look at all three of the helmet to helmet hits in this game.
Yeah. Hey, and the other thing is he was falling forward. He didn't slide. This isn't one of those.
He was a runner.
Things. Right. He's a runner. And Tony pointed it out before we took a break, right? Jimmy Ward hit him to the side, which pushed him into Dre Greenlaw. That's a bang football play. That's not anything malicious or any of that bullshit. Like, he should not be ejected. And New York, they need to get this right. If they want to prove that they have a system that protects the dignity and integrity of this league, they need to do it right now. They need to do it right now, because even when they were discussing it, Chris Collins, I can't believe it. The guy that came in the little box that was the former official was like, no, he was a runner. He's not defenseless. It shouldn't be that. Even he said it. So now New York has to get involved. They need to do something for real. They need to fix it. They have to fix it.
I just don't understand why, like, at halftime, we can't fucking come on here and be fucking happy. Like, every time we do a show, it's got to be some dumb shit. Like, 49ers playing terrible, dumb refs calls. Like, it's just ridiculous, yo.
You know what, though? With all the bullshit that happened in that first half, they're only down one score. So that's a huge positive. That's a huge positive.
Not only that, this time last game we played, we were losing by more. They had 14 points, right? So, I mean, look, you can say what you want. Wayne, you said it in the preview show. They'll get one touchdown, but everything else is going to be field goals, right?
Yeah.
You have been spot on. Now it's time for the Niners to turn it up. We've seen what they have. We've taken their best shot. We're still in this. They have yet to see our best shot. We got George Kittle just sprinkled in a little bit. We got the run game hit and miss because we're just abandoning it sometimes. And the run game was successful. There are adjustments that can be made. Mike, what do you want to see coming out in the second half here?
I think they just need to build on what they had going the last time they had the ball. The offense was moving. You know, they just have to go with the momentum. I want to see a lot of McCaffrey, but not just in the backfield too. I want to get him in open space, but some, you know, a couple deep shots too, like deeper shots. I think they need to be a little bit more aggressive.
I agree, Tony. I want to know what you want to see, and also how can we help this refereeing crew see that their right tackle just starts before everybody else
every time.
Listen, if they haven't noticed it in the first quarter, they ain't noticing it now. So it is what it is. He jumps off sides every play. He flinches every play. If you sit there when he's in his 2-point stance, you'll see his arm jump, and he's in his kick slide before the ball snapped. I mean, that is playing and play out. That is an offside. That's a false start, right? And then we look, I pointed out right away before the snap was the actual wide receiver was in front of the ball before the ball was, did not move, no flag called. Shit like that is an issue. And the officiating is horrible in this league. I don't know. People say stop making excuses. Well, it's hard when you're fighting against two people instead of one team. Two units instead of one unit. You have enough to worry about versus the defense and your offense executing, but now you got to worry about the officials trying to screw you every possible way. And it's ridiculous. The league needs to step in and intervene and do something about this because they're making the league very hard to watch. And the minute us fans step back and say, fuck, I ain't watching no more because it's bullshit, that's when they're going to do something because the money ain't coming in because the viewers are going down, and that's when they're going to be forced to do something. But what I want to see, I want them to come out and fire. I want to see Kyle get aggressive. He looked pissed running off the field at the half. He was screaming and yelling at the officials when they threw Greenlaw out. I hope he carries it over into his play calling, and they take it from there.
Mike, I want to ask you something. I know you wanted to say something. Go ahead and get your thought off, and then I got a question for all.
The only thing I was going to say was if we can see it, Kyle can see it. So I damn sure of the fact that he went up to the officials at halftime saying shit. I know for a fact for the lining offsides and all that.
Yeah.
I think we're set to see an adjustment there for sure.
Okay. So I want to ask you guys this question, right? Now, we saw the clean sweep by the panel heading into the game. I actually went and looked it up online, and the Niners were like 81% of the picks, right? I mean, you got to take into account Charger fans and people, you know, with the hometown bias and all that stuff. The Niners are a heavy favorite. Do you guys think it's possible that the NFL is instructing these officials, hey, keep it close in the first half at least so we don't lose all of our viewers? Do you guys think that – I know that people – I've heard conspiracy theories for my entire life. The NFL is fixed. It's an entertainment. It's not a real sport. Like, I've heard all that stuff. They're a private-owned business and all that stuff. I get it. But do you think that there's something to that in this game in particular when one team is heavy favorites over the other and they are diminished on their offensive side of the ball? They didn't expect them to come out here, and without these penalties and things like that, the game ain't this close. You know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think? Could there be something to it?
I hope not. I hope they're not doing that. That's disgusting if they're doing that.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to determine because, like, I mean, the 49ers laid 2 eggs on that opening drive. They ain't had shit to do with the refs. You know, Hufanga blew his coverage and Greenlaw blew his coverage 3 plays before that. So
sure,
can't blame the refs on that. But I will say that the defense adjusted, and even on short field possessions, they only gave up, you know, field goals on those drives. Now what the defense has to do is say, all right, guys, 16 points. That's it. That's the max. You know what I'm saying? And then the offense, what I would like to see is the offense to find a way to stick into some type of a rhythm, yo. Like, look, I get what the defenses are doing, right? So if you guys don't know what the defense is doing out there for the Los Angeles Chargers, they're disguising like what they're doing. So they're selling out to stop the run. So the moment they line up, they have everybody in that box. Jimmy probably checks down out of that and goes to a pass. And the moment that they do that, they drop back 4 guys off of that line. So then it's hard for Jimmy to get the ball out. So they're forcing Jimmy Garoppolo to pass, and a lot of people felt like that was going to be an issue going forward. Well, Kyle adjusted on the last drive because we started seeing RPOs. We started seeing Derwin James was cheating on the box. Anytime Derwin James on the line, find Kittle over the middle. He'll abuse any other freaking safety in the league. So Kyle is adjusting. And the play calling is not vanilla. The play calling isn't bad. It's just adjustments. You gotta play with what's going on. You gotta see what's happening out there. And they're literally putting 8 people down there. Yeah, you try to run up the middle if you want. Go ahead and try it. I would like to see more Elijah Mitchell though, because he's more of your 3 to 4, 5 yard getter with them bunched up in the inside.
All right, so last game, we saw the 49ers make phenomenal halftime adjustments. Does that trend continue this week, Mike? What do you think about that? We didn't see a lot of Kittle. We saw him on a big third down. We absolutely needed it, and he was the guy for the job at the right time, right? He broke a tackle, carried a couple of guys downfield with him. We haven't seen a whole lot of Deebo Samuel, and to Wayne's point, we haven't even seen a lot of Elijah Mitchell, who's back and itching to get some carries under his belt, right? Do you see some changes coming from the offensive side and the defensive side? The defense is what made the biggest adjustment last game at the halftime point. What do you see coming, Mike?
So I think for the offense, there will be changes, but it's more towards the bread and butter. I think they're going to go back to what they know, and that's the short passes to Kittle, to getting Deebo involved in space, letting magic happen. I think they're going to start out fast. I think they're going to score on this drive, and then at that point the defense can be completely different. They can actually rush the passer. They won't be playing tentative like they kind of did in the first half. I do think they make the adjustments for sure.
Guys, quick yes or no. Do we see more rushing attempts this half? I felt like this was a lot of passes. I don't have the stats in front of me. I don't know if anybody does have them over there or not, but it felt like there were maybe 10 rushing attempts the whole first half of the 49ers. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but do you guys think that we do more on the ground? I know we're back soon, so what do you guys think?
A lot more rushes.
I will
passes. So
I will say this opening drive here, they're going to try to run it down their throat.
It's 16-13 the run. So
all right, Tony, what do you think? We already saw the touchback. Tony, what do you think? You think we see a little bit more run plays or what?
I don't know. They're going to have to do something and figure it out. They got to get them 8 men out of the box and try to get them to not show that run blitz.
You see it too, right, bro?
Yeah, they got to do something. And it's going to have to be the pass, or they might run it, man. I don't know. The game's on. I got to watch this.
All right, guys, we're going to be out of here. We'll see you guys back on the other channel. We're live right now, so make sure you guys head on over there. We'll see you guys there, all right? Peace.
Peace.